Welcome to lesson 11. Go ahead and complete this first page of your math menu. All right, we are going to keep moving on throughout these lessons. So we are going to keep practicing comparing fractions. This time, we're going to run into that problem again where sometimes we can't multiply one of these denominators to equal the other one. I can't multiply anything times 3 to get to 5, and I can't multiply 5 times anything to get to 3. So there is still a trick so that we don't always have to use that number line. What we can do is actually multiply these denominators by each other. So this would look like 3 times 5 and 5 times 3. The reason we can do that is because it's going to create the common denominator of 15. Now, for our numerator, remember, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So I'm just going to copy and paste that and then quickly solve. 1 times 5 over here is 5. 2 times 3 over here is 6. So now we've got 5/15 and 6/15. Quickly can tell that the 6/15 is the greater fraction. So looking at 7/10, again, can't multiply 10 by anything or 4 by anything to equal each other. So we got to create common denominators still. And we're going to do that by multiplying the denominators by each other. Copy and paste those rules. Whatever you do to the bottom, you got to do to the top. And then you can find your equivalent fractions. And you can quickly tell which one is greater. Looking at 2/6 and 1/5, I'm going to quickly multiply these denominators by each other so I can create common denominators. And then I can quickly complete my inequality statement. Go ahead and do the rest on your own. Hopefully you noticed on this inequality statement that I threw one in here where you didn't have to multiply the denominators by each other because you could create common denominators. We want to do the least amount of work possible. We want to be efficient mathematicians, so the less math that we have to do is actually the better mathematician in this scenario. So instead of changing both of these fractions, we could have just changed the 2/3 to have the common denominator of 9. Go ahead and turn to main dish part 2. And we've got a challenge problem that I want you guys to take on here. We've got the fractions 1/3, 2/9, and 8/27. We haven't dealt with trying to create common denominators between 3 fractions. Go ahead and try this one on your own, and then you can take a look at how I solved it. So notice for this problem, I wanted to try and create a common denominator between all 3 of the fractions so I could easily compare them all. So I made 27 the common denominator, and then I just moved the fractions around to least to greatest, putting the original fraction, not the new fractions that I had made. Go ahead and complete your dessert for today.